And what's up, everybody, here on a Thursday. We're still in doom and gloom of Mordor here, just overcast day in South Florida, but it's a great day for real estate. Awesome. Now, made an announcement today around the office meaning my wife and two other people, that we are moving. We are moving operations down south from Boca, where we are now, down to Fort Lauderdale, Fort Laudie, where the boys are. Heading back to Lauderdale. That's where everything began. That's where my real estate investing career in earnest began, in the Fort Lauderdale area. Loved it. When the market fell apart, we left. Found myself Myrtle Beach, down here, Boca. And now we're heading back to Fort Lauderdale. Got to go back. That's where the money is. That's where things are, and we're gonna make the best of it. It's competitive in Fort Lauderdale, really competitive in Broward County, much more so than here in Palm Beach County. But at the same time, there's a lot more deals. There's a lot more money to be made. And in case you guys haven't been watching, in case you guys haven't been looking at the news, maybe even precluded, occupied with the Rona, or maybe even worried about, the election. But right now, man, I'm telling you, right now, it's time to get ready to rumble in real estate.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
Now, let me just put a big asterisk on things right now. I don't want people emailing me and calling me or messaging or leaving comments about what you're about to hear. You see, as a real estate investor, one of the things I've learned is I've had to have very hard skin. And, for years, I've been down here in South Florida, 20 plus years, buying and selling properties, looking to do some development right now, and seen it all. I've even purchased a home. This is not a lie, not a story. I've purchased a home from a guy who was convicted of murder, double murder actually, and was sitting in the jail. We actually had to have the notary go to the jail, meet with his attorney and the murderer, and sign the deed over to our house, to his house, so that we could purchase it and resell it. I've seen it all. I've walked into properties where there have been dead bodies, more than one. I've walked into homes where people have been in corners shooting up. I've walked into homes where when I got back to my house, my wife wouldn't let me in the house, and she literally made me strip down, get naked, and hose me off because I was covered in fleas from a house that we were trying to do the demo on. You don't know what it's like until you pull cabinets off a wall and roaches run down your arms. I've seen it all. I've absolutely seen it all. And those of you who have been in the game for any amount of time, I'm sure you have seen stuff just as bad. So what I'm about to say is going to probably, in this day and age of wokeness, probably going to tick some people off, maybe even scare some people. Might even offend some people, but it is what it is. And what is that? That's when a guy named John D. Rockefeller, and maybe before him with the Rothschilds, said that the time to buy real estate, the time to buy, when to make money, is when blood is running in the streets. Now understand, he didn't mean literal blood, although that'd probably be a good time to buy as well. Meant when there's panic, when things are happening in a market that are causing people to have to move. When I say move property, move commodities, move their bodies, do anything they have to do. When blood is running through the streets, it's the time, it's the ultimate motivator. When people say they're looking for motivated sellers, this is that time. This is that time. People are motivated to sell their properties, motivated to the point where they don't really have a choice. Many people. Sure, there's other people who are fine. We're going to be able to sit back and ride out the Rona and, see what happens, live through it. But there are going to be other people who don't have that luxury. They're stuck. They have to move these properties. So we're moving down to Fort Lauderdale, setting up shop. That's where our network is. That's where our funders are. That's where my contractors are. And we're going to get out of Palm Beach County because it's too far for some people to come, and it's more business in the Fort Lauderdale area. A much bigger metropolis, a varying slate of price ranges, and very little homeowners associations. Not having to deal with homeowner associations is worth it alone. If you've ever dealt with a homeowner, HOA rather, you want to get rid of those properties as fast as possible. So we're going to get down to Fort Lauderdale, and we're going to get in that flow. We're going to find those people whose blood is running in the streets. I know that sounds really bad, doesn't it? But I'm telling you, if you're a realtor with a client who can't move a property, if you're a homeowner who has to sell, you're going to want to give me a call. You're going to want to talk to me or guys like me. Preferably, I'm the one you're actually going to call. Preferably, I'm the one you're going to reach out to and say, I need to sell this property. Because this is the time. We're seeing mortgage rates begin to inch back up. The election is over, and some people are feeling comfortable and maybe not rushing to get out of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut and other points up there. We're seeing the market slow down, even though some realtors don't want to admit it. They think everything's fine, nothing is changing, but that means to me, they're not looking at data. Again, not gut feeling. I haven't done this show for a couple months now based on gut. I've done it completely based on data. So let's look. As you know, yesterday, if you watched yesterday's show, I had a couple data points that I covered. One of those was, as you can see here, buyers and sellers are substantially more pessimistic about the housing market as COVID cases are surging again. Whether you agree with the Rona being a problem or disagree with it, the fact of the matter is that's a data point. I don't know where they're getting the numbers, but they're telling people that it's surging. And because it's surging, you know what happens. Panic ensues. But that is the data that's being put out there. I mean, I haven't gone to the Florida governor's site yet. I mean, lately, Florida Department of Health. Let's see if we can pull that up. I'm going to see if I can't pull up those numbers real quick while we're sitting here. Because, again, I want to do this based on numbers. And we only have, certain numbers that we can use. So why don't we use the numbers that they give us? Because it is what it is. So let's look at the dashboard as of right now. And it's loading and it's loading. So 1.5 million positive cases here in the state of Florida. And you go to page 2 and it shows the actual cases. I look at this all the time. And to me, it's not that big of a deal because the next screen I'm going to show you tells me why it's not a big deal. I mean, at one point we had 20,000 people. This was on the 31st, New Year's Eve. 21,000 people got the Rona, which means 2 weeks later, which is today, we should have had, just a crap load of people die. That's what they're telling us, right? They're saying that the Rona is so bad. You just wait 2 weeks. Watch what happens. Well, we've waited 2 weeks from the biggest day in ever. 21,000 people got the Rona. And they're not dropping in the streets. It's just not happening. So you go back here and you say, okay, so what's it look like? What's the death rate look like in this thing? How many people are actually dying? So let's turn the page and, oh, somehow this never gets reported. This is not what people talk about. If they talked about this, then everything would be fine. 15, 20, 39, and you look back here, highest day was 122. But you don't hear about that. You just don't hear about that. The only thing they talk about is this one, 20,000, 15,000, 13,000. They talk about how many people have been infected. It's what they've been talking about forever. Data. Now, so when you see the stories and they come out with things like this, buyers and sellers are substantially more pessimistic about the housing market as COVID cases surge again. They just talk about COVID cases and they pound that in people's minds. When they see this, buyers and sellers are substantially more pessimistic about the housing market as COVID cases surge. Cases. I'm tired of hearing about it. But it's something that's going to help us real estate investors make a lot of money. Because now they're ramping up the hysteria again. People are freaking out. And not only that, it's causing that theoretical blood to be running in the streets. Don't believe what I'm saying? Well, yesterday I showed you this too. Buyers and sellers are more cautious as COVID-19 cases spike. I'm making this up, people. This is what they're doing to infect people's minds about the housing market. Hey, listen, you don't know what's going on with this COVID. And then, today, the Sun Sentinel did their part. The Sun Sentinel offered up a gift to us as real estate investors. Again, it's based upon real numbers. Florida unemployment triples to highest level since August. Triples. And you go down here in the article and it says the reason why. And the reason why is Florida's surge in COVID-19 cases has suddenly, stop calling me, I'm on the air, as Florida's surge in COVID-19 cases has suddenly thrust thousands more people out of work. COVID, it's all COVID. The COVID is causing people to lose their jobs. They're screaming, tripled. Just look at that headline again. Just look at that. Florida's unemployment claims more than triple to the highest levels in August. What happens when unemployment triples? People freak out. People don't know what to do. And when they don't know what to do, what's that mean for us? As Warren has said, be fearful when others are greedy, but be greedy when others are fearful. That's why we're moving down to Fort Lauderdale and opening up shop down in Broward. We're letting the media go ahead and fan the flames of fear. Let's go ahead and see how bad it becomes. Let's go ahead and see how much blood actually runs through the streets. Because once that happens, it's ball game on for us. It's fish on. If you ever gone fishing out in deep sea fishing, fish on, you might just be hanging out, not doing anything. You get that, someone yells, fish on, you better grab that hook. It's time to go. And that's just like a perfect analogy now that I think about it. You're out there in the water, you're on the boat, getting some rays, maybe having a couple brewskis, just chilling with some people, and then somebody screams, fish on, and everybody scrambles to see which rod it is, and you grab that rod and you start bringing it in. You start bringing it in. Bringing it in. That's where we are right now. Go ahead and laugh at my fishing analogy, but it's true. People are going to begin panicking. When you see headlines that say unemployment is tripling, and it's all because of COVID. How many of those people who are filing unemployment claims are in danger of losing their houses? Houses are, obviously a lot of people can't pay rent, can't pay their mortgages, they're relying on moratoriums. But what I'm betting on is that people don't want to exist on handouts. I talked to somebody yesterday who had a $400,000 house, had about $75,000 in equity. They want to move this piece of property because they want cash in their hands. They understand, because they've been in business, that they can do more with cash than they can with the house. If he can put $30,000 or $40,000 in his pocket, he can maybe buy a couple more trucks, get some more guys out on the road and start over. $2,000 a month from the government isn't going to do it for him. Ain't going to happen. I know to a lot of people, $2,000 a month seems like a lot. For someone who's had a business, who's used to making $10,000, $15,000 plus per month, going down to $2 isn't it. These people want to get back on their feet. Luckily, we live in the state of Florida. Luckily, we have a governor who's allowing us to stay open. I hope that doesn't change in the next 20 days, 30 days. But as of today, we are still open. We're able to get out there and do business. And so for us, that means getting down to Fort Lauderdale. There's so many deals available, just so many. If you go through the list, pendencies in Broward County, and you see how many properties there are that are just shadow inventory, it's a much bigger location, which means more opportunity. I can get down there, roll up the sleeves, get to work, and enjoy what's coming. Real estate investing in Fort Lauderdale, Oakland Park, Wilton Manors, Miramar, Pembroke Pines, Coral Springs, that's money. That's money. You don't have to deal with the HOAs like you have up here in Boca. You see, in Boca, it's a very expensive market, and it's very finite in terms of the different kind of places where you're going to find deals. Fort Lauderdale, the deals don't fall in front of you, but if you roll up your sleeves and get to work, you're going to find more deals to work with. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's why we're heading down to Lauderdale. I know exactly where I want to set up the office. I know exactly where, I'm going to focus on. There are parts of Fort Lauderdale that I don't have to do research on. I know that if a house becomes available or I see a list pendants in a certain subdivision, I already know what that house is worth. I could fire out an offer right away. I've got a number of agents that I deal with. So let me go there. If you're an agent, definitely give me a call if you have a property that you need to move. I'll look at any deal, any shape, as you know, any deal, anywhere, any shape, and we'll get you an offer. It may not be full price. I can guarantee you it won't be full price. If you're still waiting back on those multiple offer situations, even getting offers above price, I'm not the guy to call. I'm the guy to call when you know that you need to move a property. I'm the guy to call that you need when you need to get your clients a deal, get something done. I'm going to make money. You're going to make money. The homeowner is going to make money, or at least be taken care of, or get an albatross off their neck. But we're all going to do a deal together. And now is the time, because people, I didn't create it, but I'm sure going to take advantage of it. It's time to be greedy. There's a lot of fear in the market, a lot. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of agents who understand what's coming. I predicted this, not because I'm, a genius or anything. I predicted this because I saw all of the indicators and what was coming. When there was an article that I read, it said 33,000 people in foreclosure. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. 33,000 mortgage delinquencies. Remember this article? I showed you guys this article a long time ago. And I don't think people understood it. This article was in September, and it said more than 33,000 homeowners in South Florida, just South Florida, 33,000 homeowners in South Florida have fallen behind on just their FHA mortgages. These aren't even the traditional. This is FHA. 33,000 just here in South Florida are behind on their mortgages. That was in September. So, of course, the moratorium has been in place. You can't foreclose on an FHA mortgaged house. These people have now had, 4 months of nothing, not having to pay. You couldn't foreclose, but the meter's still running. Just so you understand that. They couldn't get booted, they couldn't get foreclosed on, but that didn't stop the meter from running. So if they haven't paid and they were already 120 days in arrears, now they're 240 days in arrears. That's 6-7 months. And how many of them are going to successfully go through a forbearance or a modification? I don't know. But out of 33,000, I can tell you, you don't need to be a math whiz to understand that out of those 33,000, there's going to be a crap load who need to move their properties and want to move those properties. This is the kind of data that a lot of agents just haven't been paying attention to. I don't know why. If you knew there was an army outside the gate, and I shouldn't use army because we got the election coming up, inauguration. But there's 33,000 properties that are potentially at the floodgate waiting to let go. So I understand if Biden gets inaugurated, and it looks that way, they're probably going to extend the moratorium. But understand, that's not going to fix things. Not at all. I don't think people want to be fed. I just feel intrinsically, and this isn't a data point, this is a human point. I don't think you want to be given trinkets. I don't think you just want to survive. I think you want to go to the next level. I think these people who are in foreclosure don't want to be in foreclosure. They don't have a choice. They lost their jobs. They lost their businesses. They lost, and here comes another crop of people. It tripled since August. Remember that this article here that I showed you, this was in September. And that was bad. And now it just tripled. Yes, blood is running through the streets. We didn't cause it. We didn't cause any of that. But it makes no sense not to put yourself in a position, if you're a real estate investor, to begin capitalizing on this. This has been my credo since day one of launching this show. Since day one, I've told you, pull back earlier because everyone was saying the market was so strong. And I said, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. It's an amazing credo to work with. I watched as people were getting multiple offers on overinflated properties and they were just moving and people were just screaming how hot the market was and how incredible the market was. And it is, and it was. If you were a homeowner looking to get a deal, because people were buying some stuff sight unseen. But now what we're seeing is inventory beginning to it may still be held back because of the moratorium, but now you're seeing people inventory going, I can't live like this anymore. We got to sell the house, get some cash, and we can move, go someplace else. That's what we're seeing now. Now we're seeing out of that 33,000 people that I was just telling you about, how do we see 33,000 homeowners? Now we're seeing these people just say, hey, listen, let's not just sit here and get doled out $2,000 every once in a while. So since April or so, there was one for $1,200 and then another for $600. So you got $1,800 in like months. Is that how you want to live? I don't think so. You want to sell your house. You want to get back on your feet. And you want to get some cash in your pocket. Give me a call. I'm looking to buy properties in the Fort Lauderdale, Broward County market. I'm going to be aggressive. If you're an agent, give me a call. If you're a homeowner watching this or see it or somebody refers you, give me a call. We may be able to strike a deal. We might not. Either way, it doesn't hurt you to find out what can be done. I'm not going to be the only guy knocking on your door, sending you an email, sending you a piece of direct mail. I'm not going to be the only person, but I'll be straight with you. I've been straight with everybody since I've been doing this show. And so there's nothing to lose. Just give me a call and we'll see what we can do. And I'm going to see everybody in Fort Lauderdale because that's where we're going to be. We're going to be setting up shop in Fort Lauderdale. Real estate investing in Fort Lauderdale, Oakland Park, Wilton Manors, Coral Springs, Tamarack, Lauderhill, you name it down there. We're going to be all over it. And we're starting today. I'm not down there yet, but we're, putting out the feelers, putting out the offers, looking for properties in the Broward County area. It's time, people. The blood is running through the streets. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.